Hey guys, welcome to my first video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a whole lot of fun to create, and I hope you guys hear out my theory, and I hope it helps you clear up. So let's just jump straight into it. Alright, for those of you who didn't know, way back in Season 4, the big meteor in the sky had hit the Fortnite island, resulting in Dusty Depot turning into Dusty Divot. Midway through that season, the quote-unquote government had found out there was a pod holding what could have been a living creature. Then, about 2 weeks later, it was revealed that the alien, the Visitor, was making a rocket. When the rocket launched, most were too obsessed with the fact of how amazing it was, which it truly was. But in reality, it was a code. When you looked into the spectrograph, it revealed parts to get hit, and Moisty Mire was one of the coordinates. This whole theory revolves around a huge part of things with the Visitor, so when I say that he knew it was going to happen, it's truly because he did. Starting Season 5, because of the rocket launch, above the Fortnite map was a huge crack in the sky that dropped major hints towards Fortnite in the real world, not to mention that Paradise Palms is based off of a part of California. Towards the ending of that season, the crack in the sky slowly began to shrink until releasing a huge bolt of lightning towards the mountain, making what we know today as Kevin the Cube. The cube slowly rolled into Loot Lake, making it Thanos Lake for the rest of the season. There is more to this part later. When the beginning of Season 6 had rolled around, a big tornado had pulled the Loot Lake Island up and the cube with it. It slowly traveled to the ruins it made across the map, slowly collecting its power. Now the most peculiar part about this, referring back to Season 4, is that the Visitor used the hop rocks to power the rocket. When he made the crack in the sky, and it slowly began to close, it was a purple color, close to the hop rocks. So if that much of the residue burnt off into the crack in the sky, what really happened to the rocket? With Season 5, we know there is a connection to the real world. So where would the Visitor have went? If that much of the hop rock was left into the cube, could the rocket have failed? Season 5 was not just the cube stepping places and just making a mark. It planted its power to use for something bigger. When the cube came back for the power, it made its way back to LAKEY. It exploded because too much power was collected, and it was left into fragments. Season 7, as though it seemed like such an unimportant season, it may have held more lore than we thought. The Ice King knew about the cube. He had to have because he used his power to recreate the zombies and spread snow about the map. And even in Season 6, when the AIM skin came along, as irrelevant as it may seem, it dropped a few clues. It was overwatching the people on the island, overwatching DJ Yonder, and many more, just lurking in the shadows. When the prisoner was revealed, Fortnite dropped another thing to throw us off since the bunker, the dragon eggs. Because of the prisoner, it ripped up the ground, which in reality warned us of the volcano. Season 8 rolling around was just an add-on to the story. It led to the volcano event, and ultimately, the Nexus Orb. Jonesy being stuck in that bunker with Peely. In the future when they got found, it was a whole new generation. The Fort Bites led to him warning us about the showdown in pink ink. Remember that part. When the monster came, once again, he knew where the Nexus Orb was. And what is the Nexus Orb made out of? Kevin. And what brought Kevin? The Visitor. When Season X started, Jonesy went back in time. Sort of. He knew that this would happen. He was young in the trailer, so him being old in Season 9 wouldn't make any sense. Or would it? See, the Nexus Orb caused everything. Some places to come back, some places to change. Oh, and remember that pink ink? Well, if you look around the monster, there it is. Throughout this season, we have seen that on the meteor, the pod can be seen. The Visitor is changing places, new and old. But my question is, how does the Visitor remember some of those places? If what I know is correct, the only person who should know and has seen everything story-wise is Jonesy. So how does the Visitor remember Retail Row? or Greasy Grove, or even Moisty Mire. See, the visitor controls the island. Accident or not, he is doing it. On Donald Mustard's page, at one point his banner showed the loading screen that it just came. The visitor is doing something to Dusty. He's making a robot, one like the brutes we have. When the AIM skin came into the island, he was another robot. Right now, he's making his rocket again. Now, it was leaked that the rocket thruster that fell into Anarchy was actually a rift beacon, which would explain why Anarchy Acres got changed into Lazy Links. It would explain why it keeps getting changed into Lazy Lagoon now. But if we're going back to Season 4, the visitor didn't make it back. Well, not completely. Everything we have seen, every living thing that has come, has been watching our every move. AIM, or maybe even the visitor, came back looking for one thing: the cube. Fortnite is a battle royale game. It's like the Hunger Games. But what if it was all a simulation? A game? To make people think what is reality and what's not. The visitor was sent to watch over, but the people of the island were too smart. He had to get out, but not before setting up a perfect place for the next thing to scout over the island. The cube. They controlled the cube. They let it roam around, but they didn't know what would happen when it hit the water. When it turned into Thanos Lake, they had to find a new way to save it, while still making a scene so they can get people to attract around it so they could still watch over them. It pulled it out. But when it was lost again in Leaky Lake, they couldn't get it back. There must have been something so important that was worth trying so hard, sending tons of things its way, killing things, making new parts to the map, just to get this one thing. They all went towards Loot Lake. And that was the main place that's gotten hit. The only other place is Dusty. And we know now that Dusty is the starting point. And when I say they, I don't just mean the visitor. I mean one of the 7. Yes, Fortnite this season has released the scientist skin, a more bulky, more complex version of the visitor. And it says one of the 7. One of the 7. Now what could that mean? I think it could mean there are 7 people controlling this island. I think that this rocket isn't going to be the same. Now that's pretty easy to tell, but this rocket, from everything you guys have heard this video and that I've collected, everything has went over the cube. Everything has gone to the Nexus Orb, to Loot Lake. I think the rocket is going to crash into the Nexus Orb. And I think that is why there are so many leaks about a whole new map next season. So hear me out. Let me influence you. The rocket is going to be built better than before. Somehow, miraculously better than before. It's going to be built. They're going to launch it probably on Saturday or Sunday. And it's going to go flying in the air. It's going to do its normal show. It's going to probably say something with coordinates. And then I think something is going to go wrong. I think something is going to go wrong. And it's going to go towards the Nexus Orb. I think it's going to crash into it. And when it does, it's going to explode. Make a whole new map. So, if the scientist really is one of the 7, who are the other 6? Are they just all visitors? Are they all the scientists? Or are there more? If this really does happen, if the rocket hits the Nexus orb and explodes the map. You heard it here first. That's what I'm thinking. Everything revolves around it. And if it really is a mistake, I think it's going to try to suck it up. I think it's going to try to take it. Or maybe the cube is still roaming. There's a rocket. All these events are mixed into one now. Who knows, maybe even Caddis will come back. They're all mixed into one. So what if they all go for it at once? But they all go greedy. They all try to take it for themselves. I think the map is going to explode. I hope you guys enjoy this theory. I know it's so much speculation, but if what this is showing is true, this is amazing. This has been a long video to record, and I'm just gonna be happy to get it out there, and I hope to see what you guys think. See in the comments. Spread this video. Show your friends. Show the world, because we may have cracked Fortnite's secret. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.